So last year, Butterfly released its new DIGNICS series, the 05, 64 and 80, which were all quite similar rubbers, whereas the DIGNICS 09C is very different. What's going on, guys? It's Dan here from Table Tennis Daily. Now today we're taking a look at the latest rubber by Butterfly, the DIGNICS 09C, which was released on April the 1st. Now it wasn't an April Fool's joke, it's legit, it's here, and this rubber's out. Now Butterfly say that T-Mobile helped with the development of this rubber, so very interesting indeed. He's now using it on both sides, so there's no Tenergy or the other DIGNICS. He's got 09C on both sides, so that's very interesting. And also Otroff is using it now as well. So of course, like anyone, it means I want to give it a go. Now luckily Butterfly sent me 2 sheets a month ago to give it a good test and a review. However, spoiler alert, I was going to shoot the footage last week. However, due to the lockdown and the whole situation right now, I don't have any footage of me playing with it. However, I've used it in a number of sessions now and got a really good idea of how it plays. So these are my initial impressions. Now for the first time ever, or I can't think of a time when Butterfly have done this, released a rubber with actually a film on it. So if you can see here, there's a film protecting the top sheet. And that's because this rubber has a tacky surface and this top sheet's keeping it clean. So if I just peel it off here, it's a lovely feeling this. So yeah, look at that. It's got a film, and this is what's keeping the 09C clean. It comes in at 44 degrees, which is hard. It's the hardest rubber right now that Butterfly have. For example, the Tenergy 05 is 36 degrees and the DIGNICS 05 is 40 degrees. Now when DIGNICS 05 came out last year, I was like, wow, 40-degree rubber by Butterfly, that's hard. Now this is 44 degrees, so it's a notch up. Now, just to give you a reference, obviously we recently released the Resanta R53 review, which is 53 degrees sponge hardness. Now, this is still harder, even though it's 44 degrees. It's just that Butterfly have a different way of just measuring their sponge hardness in comparison to the German-based companies. Now, also with this rubber, it's heavy. It comes in at 74 grams, which is the heaviest rubber I've seen by Butterfly. The Tenergy 05 is 69 grams and the DIGNICS 05 is around 69 grams as well. So this is at 74 grams, so it does feel a little bit heavier on the bat. So here's 5 things you need to know about DIGNICS 09C. Now the first one is the tackiness. Now for me, this is incredible. I mean, Butterfly have never really released a rubber this tacky. It's quite unique. I did say in the intro that I'm surprised this is actually called a DIGNICS rubber because it's so different to the other DIGNICS rubbers and so different to Tenergy. So I'm surprised it's not got its own line, but yeah, it's in the DIGNICS series. Give you a quick example of how tacky it is. Now, I've got a DIGNICS 09C on the blade here and also a Hurricane 3. Now, obviously with Hurricane 3 on a bounce test, the ball dies very quickly due to the gripping the rubber. With 09C, it's quite similar. Not as tacky as the Hurricane 3, but we'll get onto that a bit later. If we compare it to Tenergy 05, so see the bounce difference there. 09C, Tenergy 05. I mean, a big difference. And yeah, so straight away, the key feature with 09C is its tackiness. Okay, that leads me on to number 2, which is its arc. Now, the arc on the DIGNICS 09C is weird. At the beginning, it threw me off. If I use my normal technique, when I have Tenergy 05 on the forehand, top spinning, with the 09C, the ball flew off the end quite a lot. When it hits the rubber, you get such a high arc and it surprises you at the beginning. You have to make a few adjustments. And the adjustments you have to make is going more forward on the ball, close the angle and go forward. And I thought, you know, my shot's gonna go into the net, but it goes over and goes on, and that's due to the high arcs. And that's caused by the spin and obviously the grippy top sheet. Now, what's interesting and how to try and explain the feeling, because the feeling on the 09C is so unique. It's not like DIGNICS, it's not like Tenergy. When you contact the ball with Tenergy 05, for example, when the ball hits the rubber, it rebounds off and you know what you're gonna get. It just hits the rubber and goes out straight away. There's not much hold, it comes in and out. With the DIGNICS 05, it holds a bit longer. You know, that was quite unique. You know, when it comes onto the bat, it grabs in and then shoots out. With 09C, it's on a whole nother level. You know, the tackiness is so much more, it grips longer, and then it shoots out quickly. And that's the weird thing. You topspin, and then you accelerate hard, you feel the ball stay there, and then it shoots out quick. And that's what I like about it with lots of spin. Now, this rubber, to me is the spinniest that Butterfly have. It's got more, you can produce more spin than Tackiness 05 and the other rubbers in the DIGNICS series, just simply because it's slower than those rubbers, which I'll go into in a minute. So you're able to really accelerate into the ball and get that spin, and also the top sheet's grippier, so it's grabbing onto the ball. And when you're top spinning, you can really feel it dwell and hold onto the bat. And I just think that allows you just to get lots of spin, especially in the flicks, open ups, and just when you're top spinning in general. All right, so the third thing you need to know about the 09C is its speed. Now, in terms of how it sits against DIGNICS 05 and Tackiness 05, it's around 10% slower. But when I first started out top spinning, I was like, wow, this is actually, obviously, as I mentioned, a different feeling, but it doesn't shoot off the bat really quickly. Like you can't play shots where you're really relaxed and slow shots and it doesn't just shoot off. You've actually got to work on the ball. So in terms of the speed, you may find at the beginning, well, this is a bit slow, but actually after practicing with it and you start accelerating, you realize that you get a higher quality shot. And that's the thing that I found with the 09C. When I was top spinning, when I do accelerate and I get the top sheet qualities and the spin, then I feel like my shots are more effective. So yeah, in terms of the speed, it's around 10% slower than Tackiness 05, and yeah, that's where it sits. Okay, so number 4 is the Counterspin. Now I've chose this shot out of all the shots in table tennis because I just feel with this rubber, it gave me the most improvement, and surprisingly, I feel a lot more confident now on my counter topspin with the DIGNICS 09C. The number one reason I think for this is because I just don't think the rubber's that spin sensitive. So with, let's say, 10G on a counter topspin, it's very sensitive to spin, so it can fly out. It makes it quite hard to time. With the 09C, you can close the angle and just brush over the top of the ball. And because of the ball stays on the bat a bit longer due to the grippy top sheet, you just have control as you're countering. And yeah, for me, I've put that at number 4 because I just really feel it's helped my game a lot. Especially when playing players who put in a lot of topspin, I can now push long, wait for the open up and be confident with that counter. And yeah, as I said, it's quite a unique feeling due to having used Tackiness 05 for so long, and that shot's always been quite a tricky one. So the final thing you need to know about the 09C is that this rubber isn't for everybody, and it's definitely a different way of playing if you're used to more European style rubbers like the Tackiness 05. I think you are going to find this quite a bit different, and it's a case of just getting used to it. I do think long term you will find that this rubber gives you more of a higher quality shot, but you do need to have that good technique, a fast acceleration to make the most out of this rubber. Now, in terms of who it is for, if you're a player who likes to drop off the table, soak the pace, use the opponent's incoming spin, I don't think you're going to really enjoy the 09C. You'll still probably prefer, a Tackiness 05 or 05 effect style rubber, because you can relax and use the pace more. With this, you've got to be, an advanced attacker at the table. This is where the rubber really works out. Close range, taking the ball sharp and early and with spin. Other players who may not enjoy this rubber are players who use soft rubbers. This is a hard rubber at 44 degrees, so it's a big difference to a soft rubber. So if you don't like the feeling of hard rubbers, I think you may struggle with this. It will definitely take a lot of adaptation to get used to. And also players who like to flat hit the ball. You know those rubbers that are really quick, where you don't need to put much effort and the ball just flies off the bat? If you're that type of style where you just hit through, 09C is not great in that area. It's all about spin and brushing the ball with this rubber. In terms of who it is going to suit, as I've mentioned throughout, players who like to play close to the table, who look for spin, it's got pretty game-changing features, compared to other rubbers I've used. So it's definitely something to consider if you're that style of player who plays often, takes the game seriously and likes to do a lot of counters, early to the table, touches, flicks, and just spin strokes. This is where this rubber comes into its own. So there we go, guys. There were 5 things you need to know about the DIGNICS 09C. Now, one thing I haven't gone on to yet is the price. Now, it comes in at 79 euros, which makes this one of the most expensive rubbers in the world. Is it worth it? Now, I thought about it long and hard. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think if you're only playing once a week, you're playing casually, a league match once a week, for fun, for fitness, you don't really need to invest into a rubber like this at 79 euros, just because you need to play high quality shots to get the maximum out of it. You could get yourself 2 Resina rubbers, 2 Xeomexes for the same price as one 09C. So what I'm saying is you don't need to invest into it. But if you're someone who is an advanced player playing 3 or 4 nights a week, you want to get the best out of a rubber, you want something unique like this. I can't think of anything else on the market that will give you this same quality in terms of its spin and pace and control. The control elements of this is really good. So if you're an advanced player, you've got all the technique, then you will absolutely love this rubber. Now in this review, we've compared it a little bit to Hurricane 3. What I feel that Butterfly have done here and done a great job at is getting the speed attributes of European rubbers, so the spring sponge, that speed effect, but then the top sheet of a Chinese type rubber, a tacky rubber. And what I think they've done is managed to keep the top sheet quality, that grip, but at the same time have that speed. Now that's what I always find is the problem with Chinese rubbers. They're grippy, good top sheets, but they're just slow. And I think other companies have tried this as well to try and find a European / Chinese rubber top sheet, and they've not been close enough, they've not been quick enough. Butterfly here have somehow made that, they've made it possible. And that's one of the unique things. When you try this rubber at the start, it feels bizarre, it feels different because of that reason. You're getting that feeling, that top sheet grip feeling, but again, at the same time, the speed, and that's what's unique to it. I think rubbers are going to start going towards this trend long term. Speed isn't everything, we need spin. And I think that's what this rubber's done, is found a way to have speed, but the elements of lots of spin at the same time. Now guys, do let me know in the comments if you've tried this rubber yet. I would love to hear back from you because there's not many reviews out there right now or what people are saying about it. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the 09C. Let me know in the comments. Be sure to give this video a like and also subscribe. We're going to be releasing a lot more content over the next few months. Yeah guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe and see you soon.